The Richter scale is a numerical scale used to measure the magnitude of earthquakes. It was developed in 1935 by American seismologist Charles Richter and is based on the amplitude of the seismic waves recorded on a seismograph. The Richter scale is logarithmic, meaning that an increase of 1 unit represents a tenfold increase in the amplitude of the seismic waves and a 32-fold increase in the amount of energy released by the earthquake. For example, an earthquake measuring 5.0 on the Richter scale is 10 times more powerful than one measuring 4.0. And an earthquake measuring 6.0 is 100 times more powerful than one measuring 4.0. The Richter scale is not used to measure the intensity of an earthquake, which is a measure of the amount of shaking at a particular location, but rather the magnitude of the earthquake itself. The scale ranges from 0 to 10, although earthquakes above 8.0 are very rare. It is important to note that the Richter scale is not a perfect measure of an earthquake's destructive power, as factors such as the depth of the earthquake, the type of soil or rock, and the distance from the epicenter can all affect the amount of damage caused. However, it remains one of the most widely used scales for measuring earthquake magnitude. The Richter scale is designed to measure the magnitude of an earthquake, which is a measure of the total energy released by the earthquake. This energy is released in the form of seismic waves, which travel through the earth and can be detected by seismographs. The Richter scale measures the amplitude of the largest seismic wave generated by the earthquake, as recorded by a seismograph located at a standard distance of 100 kilometers from the epicenter. The amplitude is measured in microns, millionths of a meter, and is then converted into a numerical value on the Richter scale. Each whole number on the Richter scale represents a tenfold increase in the amplitude of the seismic waves and a 32-fold increase in the amount of energy released by the earthquake. For example, an earthquake with a magnitude of 5.0 on the Richter scale releases 32 times more energy than an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.0. And an earthquake with a magnitude of 6.0 releases 1,000 times more energy than an earthquake with a magnitude of 4.0. It's important to note that the Richter scale is not perfect, and there are other scales that are used to measure earthquake magnitude, such as the moment magnitude scale. The moment magnitude scale takes into account other factors such as the area of the fault that ruptured and the amount of movement that occurred, whereas the Richter scale only measures the amplitude of the seismic waves. In addition, the Richter scale is not designed to measure the intensity of shaking or the damage caused by an earthquake. Intensity is a measure of the effects of an earthquake at a particular location, and it can be affected by factors such as distance from the epicenter, local geology, and building construction. Intensity is measured using the modified Mercalli intensity scale, which ranges from I to 12.